think rule of thumb is that in the next 3 years, we'll probably have half the people in G&A type activities in companies. Things like marketing, things like finance, things like HR, because there's a lot of process management there.
So that's the CEO of Palo Alto Networks, a $225 billion company, 21,000 people, and that's his rule of thumb for the next 3 years. Half of the people in finance, marketing, and HR. Now everyone is going to clip the line and turn it into a layoff story. The only thing is that they are missing the point, because in this interview, he does something I haven't seen a CEO at this scale done before. He opens up his actual playbook on how he's going to rebuild his company with AI right now. Why he replaced job interview completely, a meeting he runs twice a week with the strangest name you ever heard, and one question that can transform a team in 3 days. And every piece of it scales down to a small business. And I will show you how as we go. And by the end of the video, you will know exactly in which of the 3 lanes your business is. And one of them is really dangerous. Subscribe if you're new. Let's go into it. Before we get into the playbook, you have to see the mistake, because he is saying that most of people are getting this wrong right now. And honestly, most of us too.
I think more than half the enterprises are still not getting it right on the use of AI perspective. I think we're still busy trying to incorporate AI into our current business practices. So how do I take what I do today, use a little bit of AI, get marginally more efficient because I don't want to do this the old way? I think the opportunity is to rethink your workflow fundamentally with AI. That's where the true benefit's going to come. And I think the winners in the long term will be people who actually rethink their companies with AI, not people who adapt their current workflows marginally with AI.
Rethink versus adopt. Hold on to that, because the whole video is about that. And here what's adopting look like in real life. You will recognize this straight away.
Imagine where AI actually is helping you make judgments. If I put every CV into AI and says, these are 20 people you should interview, look at the CV, you should ask this person these following questions, sends a note to Harry saying, interviewing this person, ask the following 10 questions because your 3 other colleagues only asked the following 5. We need no false positives as a human being. So AI could be hugely helpful in informing and making the process more intelligent. But that requires us to give up human control and let AI do 80% of the thinking for us. And that's not how we're doing it right now. All we're doing is, let's take this invoice, let's scan it, abstract the data, put it into AI and say, look at that, it's happening 20% faster.
And that's where the actual trap is. You take the whole process, you sprinkle some AI on top, and you celebrate that 20% increase in efficiency and speed. The invoice get created faster, the email get drafted better, faster, but it's the same workflow, just slightly quicker. And the real question never get asked, which is, if I started this business today with AI from day one, would this step even exist? And that's what it means by rethinking. Not the same step done faster, few steps, different step, something no step at all. And when you start to follow the logic all the way through, you exactly land back to the initial clip. Half of those departments, because of what's about to replace the software they run on. And this is something essentially important that we are gonna do with our business too, rethinking the whole business. How is this process should actually exist? Or we need to rethink completely the workflow. So this is an important steps that we had to take for our business too. Start with his own marketing department, 600 people.
So it's the best marketing training database in the world, the frontier models. Why do I need 400, 600 people in marketing? Because my biggest problem in marketing is I have 600 people, but I'm not sure they all fully understand how to consistently deliver my tone of voice, my value proposition, and how not to break my brand.
And notice, this problem is not that 600 people are slow is that they are inconsistent, and the fix is describing is no more people. It is, honestly, the most important sentence in the whole interview.
SaaS applications will give way to AI applications. The difference being SaaS applications have no opinion, AI applications will have opinions.
Just sit with that for a second, because it's the best one-line explanation of the next 5 years I have heard. All the software you are paying today, your CRM, your marketing tool, your project management tool, your HR system, is basically a container. You put things in, you get things out, and it's never you look at your work and it's telling you that it's wrong. It has no opinion. And now listen what the next generation of tools sounds like.
An AI marketing assistant, AI HR assistant is going to say, I looked at your copy, it sucks. That's not good enough. It's not consistent with tone of voice. Here's what I would recommend. This has an opinion. That will make my average employee much smarter than they were today. Then I don't need so many of them because they're doing most of the work for you.
I looked at your copy, it sucks. Here, what I will do instead. That's not tools anymore. It's a colleague, one that read everything you have produced, never sleep, and hold the standard on every piece of work that goes out. And this is where the maths of half start to make sense. It's not that AI just do the job, it's that everyone that stays gets an opinionated expert sitting next to them. And suddenly, one person is doing the work of three. So is this just the AI takes all the job story again? Well, he said not. And his reasoning is really surprising.
I think there's this fallacy. People believe we're going to have less people working because AI is going to take over our jobs. I don't believe that. I think what's going to happen is you can't imagine the number of people on my team who want more technical resources, more AI savvy resources, because they want to do exactly these things. They're saying, well, I've got an amazing project to transform marketing. I've got an amazing project to transform HR. What do you need? Oh, I need more people who understand how to prompt frontier models, build harnesses, bring proprietary data into play, bring moats. I need more compute, more storage, because I want to learn everything. So I think we're going to need more technical resources. I think we're going to need more sales resources. Because if your product's really good, you need more people to go out there and cover the universe, because not enough people know about it.
So the picture is painting isn't smaller companies. It's redistribute once. Half of the process job, the people managing workflow between systems, and more of everything else, more builder, more seller, more people who can actually make AI do things, which sounds almost reassuring until you ask the obvious question. Can the people in the first group become the people in the second? And his answer is the most brutal part in the whole interview, because it's already happening inside this company.
The challenge right now is 90% of the enterprise employees are not AI savvy. They're not. They have to learn. I can't send them to university. Right? There's no course you can take at any school, anywhere. They have to be able to learn of their own. I think we're back to a Darwinian moment where everybody has to figure out who's really good. Now, you've seen people like Brian Armstrong and Jack Dorsey go out and say, I'm going to decimate my organization. I'm going to start building from scratch. And they've gone to some version of 30, 40% less people because they've figured out there is no redemption. I can't train these people. I'm going to just find the people who are going to come in and help me do this stuff. That's one model. The other model is sort of gradual. We've been hiring people only through hackathons now, right? And we see natural attrition of 2%, give or take a month. And we just replace them with people who actually are AI savvy people we hire from hackathons. Give me 12 months, I'll have sort of transformed 20, 25% of my team. Give me 3 years, I'll have hopefully enough AI savvy people working at Palo Alto.
So there are two models on the table right now. Models one is the Armstrong and Dorsey route, burn it down and rebuild it with a third of the people. It's brutal, it's fast. Honestly, it's not available for most businesses. But model two is the one to steal because it's completely quiet. He stopped doing job interviews. It's hackathons now. So you don't tell him you are good with AI, you show him live on a real problem, and then he just lets natural traction do the rest. People leave anyway, about 2% a month, and every single exit becomes an AI-savvy hire, no layoff, no headlines. But 12 months in, a quarter of the company is transformed. And in 3 years, it's a different company in the same building. And if you run a small team, this translates directly on your next hire. Skip the CV round and give them a paid trial task, real work for your business. What they build is the interview. But here is the trap that is inside all of this. And most companies are walking straight into it with a spreadsheet.
The risk is your smartest employee who knows how to use AI really well could be using 20 times the tokens that an average employee uses. And if you get into this whack-a-mole moment saying, oh my God, I'm going to stop people spending too many tokens, you actually will hurt the best AI-savvy people more than you will hurt the average employee.
Because your best person with AI isn't 10% better than average. They are 20 times hungrier. And on the finance report, they are the one who looks like the problem. So if you cap everyone's AI spend to be fair, you have capped your best person. It's like rationing electricity in a factory. Flip it around. Find your X person, give them more, no less, and watch what they spend on it. Because that's your map on what AI can actually do in your business. Right, that's the talent side. Now, for the machine that runs the whole transformation, and I promise you, I'm not making this name up. Quick one before we get to the machine. This whole video is about leverage. One person doing what 3 used to do. And if you are still building your newsletter by hand every week, that's leverage sitting on the table. Newsletterly takes you from a blank page to a fully finished newsletter in minutes, and the lifetime deal in the description. Buy it once, own it forever. Right, back to the strangest meeting in the corporate of America.
And I run a meeting twice a week now called AI-EIEIO. It's kind of funny. It's like Old MacDonald had a farm. AI-EIEIO, because everybody in my company wants to do AI. So if you use it as a converging function, as a function to do brainstorming across my team, how do we think about this? Why are we building this? Because I have to AI.
What happens in that meeting?
Everybody comes and shares how they're adapting to the new world of AI. What are they doing from a product development perspective? How are they thinking about it? How are they including agents in their products? How are they going to go build the backend infrastructure? How do we think about how are they using tokens? How do we think about the capability of resources? Remember, for me to transform a 21,000 people organization, I have to get the hearts and minds of the leaders to make sure we're all swimming in the same direction or pulling in the same direction.
He named it after the Old MacDonald song. Twice a week, top 15 leaders show and tell. And one question does all the work.
So for me, it's getting 14 people together and saying, hey, Harry, tell me today, what have you done for AI in the last 3 days since I last talked to you in your organization? And whatever motivates you, whether the fear of Nikesh asking you 3 days again what you did, or your sort of inherent learning ambition, or it's your team pushing you, you will show up with something. And then you'll see what the other guys are doing. You say, oh my God, I'm doing a lot or I'm not doing enough. So it creates a little bit of Darwinian competition amongst them. It creates this urge to go embrace this new technology. And I think hopefully I get 14 people fully motivated, and then they go do that to the next set of people. Because I need to transform from the top down, not from the bottom up on this topic.
What have you done with AI in the last 3 days? This is such an important point, and this is what we are going to also implement in our company. Not this quarter, in the last 3 days. Nobody wants to show up with nothing, so everyone show up with something, and it runs top down. The leader go first, or nothing moves. He's watched this move before.
You know, there was this fad where CEOs would hire this 24-year-old Sherpa. They were called the web Sherpas or internet Sherpas, right? It's like chief internet officer. Remember, those companies had chief internet officers at one point in time.
I was 8, so no.
You're 8, you don't remember. Well, we've seen this movie before. Sometimes it's fine to have seen this movie before. And the task of the chief internet officer was to make sure the organization was ready for the internet, because I'm too busy in my traditional business and I don't know who Amazon is, I don't know who Google is. So this wonderful 24-year-old who understands this stuff is going to help be my savior. And then CEOs would wash their hands about the internet because they have this wonderful team of people who would be frustrated because they can't get anything done because nobody's giving them attention. The risk of that happening is true with AI as well. I'm so busy doing what I did yesterday, I have no time to think about tomorrow. So meet my chief AI officer, who's probably a researcher at some amazing university before and has low execution skills.
2004, CEOs hire a chief internet officer, handed them the future and drawn away. If you are the founder, this job is yours. And you can copy this at any size. Monday morning, 10 minutes, everyone answer the 3 days question. And that's the whole system. What have you done with AI in the last 3 days? The bigger decision in the interview told with 3 cars.
If I look at self-driving, there are broadly 2 or 3 approaches out there, right? One was, my car is not going to have a human in it. It's called Waymo. Right? I'm going to keep pounding it. I'm going to keep pounding it, training it until it learns by itself to drive, and no human shall be holding the steering wheel ever when my customers are in it. Right? You see it's out there. Many cities have Waymos. I saw one down the street from here. So that's one way of doing product development. And what you do is every edge case gets discovered. You build training around it. Every experience is a learning experience. You build training around it. You keep training it. You keep training it. You keep training. Get to a point of total autonomy. The other version is, I'm going to start taking segments of the driving and start automating that segment where I get really comfortable. So my car drives 50% of the time, the other 50% the human gets in on the edge cases. That's my Tesla, right? Tesla used to drive just the highway for me. Now it's getting better at other streets. It's slowly getting better. But still, I'm holding the steering wheel very often, and it'll tell me you're not paying attention. Look at this, look at the camera, otherwise you can't drive. And I know FSD gets better, but that's another way to get there, okay?
So Waymo, take the human out and train it until it drives itself, whatever it costs. Tesla, keep the human, automate piece by piece. And the third car, a really old car with just a AI sticker on top of it. And here is verdict.
So my fear is, am I pivoting fast enough in my product strategy that over time my products become more self-driving than they are today? Or do I need to go faster? And can I get there by automating or AI enabling certain parts of my product where I can apply the models that are capable to do certain aspects of cybersecurity today and keep doing the others through machine learning and managing edge cases through machine learning? Or is it time for me to pivot? My view right now is you have to have the Tesla approach if you're an enterprise that is building AI-infused capability. But you can't have the approach of traditional car manufacturers, which are trying to stick a little bit of AI and sort of AI washing their cars and saying, I'll get there eventually.
Tesla for almost everyone. You have client today, you can give them something that's right 80% of the time. So automate where are you confident, keep your hands on the wheel and move the line every month. The lane that kills you is the AI sticker, AI washing. Everyone smells it and nobody comes back to it.
I don't want to build an AI marketing stack. I don't want to build an AI HR stack. I don't want to build an AI ERP stack. I'm hoping that somebody goes and does that much more effectively and efficiently for the world at large. Perhaps it's the next iteration of Salesforce, the next iteration of SAP, or the next iteration of Workday that is going to help me do that, because I do believe it needs to become more intelligent. We talked about it needs to be more AI enabled or AI controlled. I do want to build things that are particular to me, where I have all the information, all the intelligence, the context, and the memory from an organizational perspective. I think the right way to get there is to hold people accountable. Everything my team is building is proprietary to us. This is where do we have unique, distinguished knowledge that we bring to bear, which nobody else can do on the outside. Let's put that, let's package it, let's use it. Where it's going to be a generic AI application 12 months, 24 months from now, let's just wait.
That's the filter. If it's generic, wait. Someone will build it better within a year. If it's built on what only you know, your data, your context, your memory, build it now, because nobody else can. And that word, context, Satya Nadella said the same thing a couple of weeks ago. The video in the link below. One more line from Nikesh.
Technology, you miss one trick, you can survive. You miss two tricks, you're partly impaled. You miss three tricks, you could be obsolete.
And one last thing about the man himself.
I came to the United States with 2 suitcases, $200, and I was willing to do anything at all, within reason, is the right side of the law, to make sure that I made a life for myself, because there was no way to go back. I was going to use a different word, but I'm not going to use it because you go crazy again. So there's no going back, right? It was a one-way ticket, which I did not have. I had no recourse. So I was willing to do whatever it took. I took notes. I became a security guard. I tried to pump gas for a weekend.
You became a security guard?
Yeah, when I came to the United States, I was a security guard. I took notes for the disabled. I flipped burgers at Burger King. I had $200. I had to find a way of paying my tuition.
He arrived to America with 2 suitcases and $200, flip burger at Burger King, and there was no way back. And that's who is telling you to move faster. He built it from nothing, and he's rebuilding it again, because standing still was never an option, not for him and not for you. So, and here the playbook. Software with opinions, hire on proof, never cap your best people, and the 3-day question. And that's the playbook. And tell me in the comment, which lane is your business on? Waymo, Tesla, or the AI sticker? I read every reply. That's the full playbook. Goes to the newsletter subscriber. The link is below, and subscribe if you're new, and see you to the next one.